Hello, hello. Hello, hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I want to make sure that you can see me. Perfect. We're just going to leave the camera right there. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for all of our brand new subscribers. I am super excited for those of you who have chosen to join me at home with Vicky Koger, your local realtor in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, y'all. And I couldn't come on here quick enough to make this video because I have gotten so many comments, and I am actually so thankful for those of you that took the time to watch the video. Not only did you take the time to watch the video, but you actually left the comment, and a couple of people left comments talking about, hey, please be careful doing a forbearance because you can end up having to pay a lump sum at the end of your loan. Don't do it. Just sell your house. I want to thank you so much because although I touched on that in the video before that I posted talking about people not paying their bills, I looked at some more data today, and guys, people are over 90 days late on their mortgages. There is a large population in the nation, not just in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, that cannot pay their mortgage, cannot pay their rent, okay? And I personally have been on listing appointments. The reason why I was comfortably touching on forbearances and deferments is because I've been on listing appointments where I sit down with a potential seller and we go through their scenario. And if they were to sell their house today, where would they go? Okay. Even for people that have $100,000, $200,000 in equity, if they're someone that's transitioning in their job, like maybe they got furloughed, maybe they got laid off, whatever the reason is, they're looking for a new job, you cannot rent if you're not going to qualify, right? And the video that I did about people not paying their bills, I talked about how rent is super high. That's the reason why I brought back the conversation about forbearances and the fact that affordability is a real issue in our country nationwide. Mortgages are high, rents are high. So there are a large portion of our population that their mortgage is more affordable than what it would be if they went out here and tried to rent, right? I also said in my video that forbearances is not a loan forgiveness, right? This is not something that's going to wipe away your loan. I did mention that you're going to have to make those payments back again, right? And what I did not go into details, and I want to make sure that I do that today because so many of you brought it to my attention, and I'm so grateful. So y'all, if you know what I'm talking about, you've been through forbearance. I feel comfortable talking about this because I've been through forbearance. I had a penalty-free forbearance. That's a word I didn't use in the last video. Okay, because that's why I said you have to speak with your mortgage provider, with your lender, your lending servicer, because every lender is going to be different. Okay, I had a lender called Mr. Cooper, and I did my forbearance back in 2021. Okay, so I had a penalty-free forbearance. And when I did the forbearance, and we're going to get into this because forbearance and deferment are two different things. Okay. Forbearance, let's just start with, forbearance. Okay. Forbearance temporarily reduces or suspends payment for a set period. Like I told you guys, you can get a forbearance from 3 to 12 months. When I did my forbearance, I did a 4-month forbearance. I told y'all in the video before, or maybe I didn't, that when I did my forbearance and I decided to get my payments back on good standing, they split those 4 months. Instead of me having to pay back one lump sum, which would have been $12,000 because my mortgage was $3,000 a month, right? So instead of me paying back $12,000 on the fifth month plus my current mortgage payment, so that would have meant that I would have owed $15,000 at the time of getting out of forbearance. Instead of doing that, they split the $12,000 into 5 payments or 3 payments. It was something like that. And I was paying $4,000 a month for 4 or 5 months to get back in good standing on my loan. That was the option that was given to me, and I took that option because luckily at that time I started, working again, closing transactions, and I was able to make my mortgage payments again. And I wouldn't say I was able to afford the $4,000 payments because it did get very stressful. And in my situation, I eventually sold that house, right? Because I did not want to keep being in forbearance, okay? But I was lucky. I had a place to go. I had my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, and he decided that we would move into his house because his mortgage payment was well below $3,000. And we actually liked the area in which he lived better than the area in which I lived. So that's why we chose to go about it that way. So yes, I eventually chose to sell my house. Okay. I did not have to pay a lump sum. I did not have any penalties. There was nothing happened to my credit. My payments were paused. My mortgage servicer worked with me. Had I chosen to keep my house, they also offered me, this is the other option that I want you guys to talk to your lenders about, is a deferment. Okay, listen to me. A deferment allows you to postpone payments by moving them to the end of your loan. I touched on that in the other video, but I didn't use the word deferment. I think what I said was loan modification, because it is a loan modification. So what they're going to do when you get on a deferment, okay, which allows you to postpone your payments and move them to the end of the loan, you don't have to repay the paused amount immediately. It's tacked on to the loan balances. Some lenders don't charge interest on deferred payments, but it depends on the loan terms. Okay, guys, I told y'all to call your lender and find out what was available to you. I am simply a realtor. I am simply a homeowner. I am simply a citizen of this United States of America, just like you, sharing with you information that I know simply because of my profession, but I am not giving you legal or financial advice. I do tell you guys to verify everything that I say in my videos and use your better judgment, okay? So that's what this video is about today. I'm bringing you guys more data, more information, so that you can make an educated, informed decision when it comes to your mortgage payment. So because the reality is that I'm gonna talk about me. Okay, we're gonna keep it 100. When I did my forbearance, I was a single mom. I had 2 kids before my husband, and we didn't have anywhere to go. It was like right during the pandemic, right during the lockdown. Where was I going? I wasn't going to sell my house and move into where? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm self-employed. So nobody was hiring back during the pandemic. Everything was shut down. I couldn't just pick up and go work in a restaurant and do anything like that. So I had to do what was responsible at that time, which was a forbearance or deferment, okay, to keep a roof over our heads, because I didn't want to be homeless with my children, okay? And like I told y'all in the video that I did, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, I chose to do that, but I also got on my grind. I also started hustling and promoting and marketing and helping the people that were responding to my prospecting, helping those people get pre-approved for home loans so that they could buy homes and so that I could get paid, because as a realtor, I only get paid when I help people buy and sell their home, okay? So I did what I could do based off of my profession to stay in my house, right? And eventually I did decide to walk away from that house, but I don't have a horrible forbearance or deferment story because I had a penalty-free, interest-free forbearance. I chose to do the payments up front and they split it up. I did not have to do a lump sum pay. I did not have to do a lump sum payment. And I honestly, if I would have known more and detailed about the deferment option, honestly, I don't think that my bank was offering it to me interest free. I think that the reason why I chose to pay the way that I did was because if it would have been tacked on to the end of my loan, at that time, that sounds scary to me, right? But like I said in the video that I made 2 days ago, if you're someone who don't have a place to go right now, you don't have a job just yet, if your bank is offering you a loan modification and they're going to add those payments on to the end of your loan penalty free, okay? What is more time on your loan gonna harm you if you need a place to live? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't harm you financially, if it doesn't harm your credit, if it's not going to put you in a stressed situation financially, take the deferment, okay? I'm not telling you guys to do something blindly and not to get information, but these are options that are available to people because, like in the pandemic, when the CARE Act came into place to help keep people in their homes, this is when forbearances became popular again. It's not like it's something new. It's always been around, but the pandemic was when a lot more people were doing it. And as of today, forbearances is now a hot topic, right? Herein lies. You're watching the video and we're talking about it together, right? So do it going into it with knowledge, okay? I want you guys to understand your options, right? Contact your lender. I got my notes here. And I'm sharing it with you, okay? Contact your lender, call your mortgage provider, the company you make your payments to, and explain to them your situation. I told y'all less is more. You want to be concise with your situation so that the mortgage company knows exactly what you need, right? Because they don't really care about all the miscellaneous things in your life. All you need to tell them is either you lost your job, you're having a health issue, or you're financially in distress right now, or maybe you're somewhere in the country that has suffered from a natural disaster. Whatever the situation is that is keeping you from being able to pay your mortgage, you're going to explain that to the mortgage company. How long do you anticipate needing assistance? Your income, expenses, and any other financial details that they may request. Guys, don't just offer up information. Call, ask for what options are available. Based off of the difference between forbearance and deferment, I would say that if you are given a deferment option, that's probably going to be better for you, because unless your bank is like my bank and they have penalty-free forbearances, interest-free forbearances, they will allow you the option to do a loan modification at the end of your forbearance, because some lenders do that. Like I said, that would have been an option for me had I gone back into a forbearance, or had I chosen to take the deferment that they were giving me when I was trying to come out of forbearance. I had that option to put the payments on the end of my loan, and I didn't choose that, right? I chose to make the payments within the 5 months, to do the payment plan of the lump sum that I owed, because I was able to do it, okay? And I wanted to get that out the way quickly. But that might not be your situation, okay? I need you to understand your options. Forbearance options such as paused or reduced payments for a set period. Loan modification to adjust payment terms. I just told y'all that. Repayment plans after forbearances, lump sum versus gradual payment. So that's what I did. I did a gradual repayment, okay? Make sure you get all details in writing and understand how the repayment will work after the forbearance, okay? Submit your request and follow up. All right. You're going to complete any necessary paperwork, provide supporting documents like proof of hardship or income statements, confirm the approval and the terms of your forbearance, keep track of communication with your lender. Remember, I told y'all you want to check the mail, you want to be in communication, you want to be talking to your lenders so that you are informed. Stay informed about the payments and when they will resume, okay? Forbearances can offer temporary relief, but it's not a loan forgiveness. I opened up the video with that, y'all, and I'm going to say that until I'm blue in my face. I know that for some people, this sounds scary. This might sound risky, but here's the thing. Forbearances is going to give the people, forbearances and deferments or loan modifications are going to give people that are in financial hardship, because the data is showing that the country as a whole is experiencing affordability issues. In DC, Maryland, and Virginia, rent is expensive. Mortgages are expensive, right? I would much rather somebody work with their bank to defer their payments and figure out if they can in fact afford this house or if they need to sell it. And we're going to talk about selling now, okay? We're going to talk about selling because a gentleman left a comment in my YouTube, and he was like, bro, why are you telling these people to do a forbearance? It's much better for them to just sell their home. And I understand what he meant by that, right? If you have equity right now, why drag it out? Because the data is starting to shift. I told you guys in the other video that the summer is going to tell us where the market is going. But honestly, Redfin just reported, I saw this morning, Redfin and Realtor.com, that more houses are coming on the market. And we're not even in spring. We're still in the winter. So the fact that more houses are starting to come on the market, like I told you guys, the more houses that come on the market, the less desirable your house is going to be for buyers. The more houses they have to pick from, that means that it's no longer a seller's market, and it can affect the equity that you have in your house. So if you already know that you are struggling to pay your mortgage, you're not successful in finding adequate employment to succeed in paying that mortgage, it may be time to put your house on the market. That's as simple as I can put it. It may be time to put your house on the market and part ways and take your equity before you have to lose some of your equity and sell your house anyway, right? But that is something that you want to, think about and research about, and like compare your situation wherever you are in the country and determine if that is in fact what you need to do is sell your house right now. Look at your equity. I know that if you live in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, you want to get a market analysis, just I'll put my email in the description. My email and my phone number is always in the description of my videos. But like if you text me or you email me and say, hey, Vicky, I saw your video on YouTube. Could you give me a call so we can discuss you getting me a market analysis? I will gladly give you a market analysis and tell you how much equity you have in your house so that you can start planning. Because, for example, I met with the seller recently and he has I think he had $300,000 in equity. That's another statistic, because homeowners are older and a lot of people have owned their houses longer. Some people own their houses outright. 45% of Americans don't have a mortgage, right? 45% of them don't have a mortgage. Those are the baby boomers. They got all the wealth, okay? But there are other people that have owned their house for a long time, been making payments. Maybe they did a refinance or something, or for whatever reason. But this particular client, he has $300,000 in his house, okay? And I think he owes like $140,000 or something like that. So, or he owes like, he owed like $90,000 on his mortgage to be free and clear. But he was thinking about selling because he's trying to retire. And so, or, you know, some other situation. I can't remember exactly what it was. But this man could literally go with that $300,000. He could buy a small property for $250,000 and still have $50,000 in the bank. You know what I'm saying? So even if he doesn't get a new job, that was the thing. He doesn't have a job right now. So we were kind of like, because he wanted to take his equity and then get another loan and buy another house. And I was explaining to him that it's going to be difficult for you to buy a house even though you have this large amount of money without a job, right? Because you need a job to qualify for a home loan. He didn't want to use all of his money for a new house. He wanted to put down like 30%, but doesn't want to use all of it, and still wanted to buy a pretty nice house. But I told him, you know, you're going to have to get a job in order to do that, because just because you have $250,000 in the bank, a lender isn't going to give you a loan without a job, right? So, but if you're somebody who has come to reality, I made a video and I talked about how some home buyers don't have the proper reality, and that's why they're not the proper expectation, my bad. And that's why they're not homeowners yet. Well, some home sellers don't have the right expectation. If you have been in forbearance pushing up on a year, right? I don't even want to think that there are people that have been on forbearances for 2 years, but the data shows that they are people that have just been on forbearance, in deferment. Guys, if you are still struggling to pay your mortgage, this is your sign. This is your sign to go ahead and get that house sold. Because if we wait any longer, you're going to be pushed, you're going to be forced to sell it, and you're going to make less money, okay? So like I told y'all, these videos are to inspire you, to inform you, to motivate you. I want the people that follow me to have options and to have data and to have information to know how to make an educated decision, because when it comes to real estate, it's a very emotional situation. It's a very emotional decision when you're thinking about selling your house that you've lived in for the last 10, 15 plus years. And then you look at this market and you see what's available to you in rent. And you're like, bro, why would I leave my house to go and rent that? You know, why would I leave my mortgage to pay more in rent and get a smaller property? Hey, I can't answer that for you. I sold my house and chose to move into a smaller home for peace of mind. Okay, I did. I chose peace of mind over aesthetics. Okay, I chose peace of mind over aesthetics. I'm still a homeowner. I just don't own a 4,000 square feet, 6-bedroom house anymore. It's a 3-bedroom townhouse. Okay, and that fits perfectly fine for me and my husband and my 4 kids. I have a daughter in college. You know what I mean? You have to do a personal assessment. Me and my husband did a personal assessment. My husband, he is always going to choose the more financially, I'm not going to call him frugal, because he has expensive taste, but he's one of the people, he'll pay our utilities up for the year, right? He pays things in advance. He doesn't like debt. He doesn't like to worry about bills or how we going to pay that, you know what I mean? He's not an entrepreneur. He goes to work. He works his 40, 50 hours a week, and he's cool, right? And he manages and budgets very well. My husband is a very A-type personality. So, you know, I am a more grandiose personality. I'm an entrepreneur. So I think big, I live big and things like that. But, and I had the pandemic gave me a hard reality check, right? I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm strapped for cash. I want my home to be a safe place. I want my home to be peace. I don't ever want to have to worry about how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Right? So that was what was important for me. And so that's why I chose to sell and just take my equity to pay off my debt so that I can live debt free and just manage the things that I have. Because even though I was able to pay off all my debt with with the equity that I made off of my house, and I'm gonna be transparent with y'all, when I sold my house, I had $113,000 in equity. I only owed that house for 2 years. Okay, I had a very, very good play, right? $113,000 in equity. I paid off all my debt, and literally today I still got, we got our regular bills, cell phone, I don't have a car note, but car insurance, what else? Just regular maintenance. I got a daughter in college. I got a son that's about to graduate. So like, we're never going to run away from bills. So there is that. That's why I say everybody's situation is personal. I sold my house in 2021, right? It's 2025. I could have sold my house and went and got a rental cheaper than the $3,000 mortgage that I was paying. But if I was in the same situation today, it don't look the same. Especially in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, where if you have children and you need a two or three bedroom house or townhouse or apartment, you're paying 22 is going to be the cheapest, and it's not going to be in the most desirable area, right? You're going to be paying close to $3,000, $3,200 to live in a desirable area and have the adequate space for your family. So that's why we are here. That's why loan deferments, loan modifications, and forbearance is a topic of discussion. Okay. The data is showing that people are 90 days delinquent on their mortgages, 90 days delinquent on their rent. It's not just mortgage. So this is a follow-up to the video that I did a few days ago, guys. This is a reality that's happening in our country. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm out here selling a dream just to be selling a dream. Because for the people in my comments that was like, oh, don't be selling these people hope. Don't be selling these people, what do I benefit telling someone to call their lender to find out if they can do a loan deferment or a loan modification or forbearance? I'm a realtor. I should be telling people, let me come sell your house. So that should let you know that if I brought this up to the people that follow me, I'm bringing this up because I feel like a lot of people need some time. They need that pause. They need to be able to maybe have grace and get a forbearance that's penalty free, a forbearance that's interest free. I'm going to keep dropping these gems. So when you're talking to your lenders, this is what you're asking them for. And if they tell you, no, we don't give penalty free forbearances. We don't do a deferment. We don't do a gradual repayment. We're going to want you to pay a lump sum at the end of your forbearance. Well, then you know that that's not for you. Then you know that you probably need to get on the phone with the realtor and get your house sold so you can cash out and take that equity and go on to your next place. And let me end with this. If you are someone who has been in forbearance, have been thinking about forbearance, your mortgage provider does not offer you penalty-free forbearances, does not offer deferments without interest, does not offer you an option that feels good for you and is not going to be financially harmful to you and your credit, and you still cannot afford your mortgage and you have to sell your house, let me be the one to tell you not to be ashamed. Let me be the one to tell you that it is honorable to sell your house and take some equity, okay? Because there's going to come a time where we don't have all this equity in our homes. I'm trying to tell y'all, equity is not money that you get all the time just because you own a house. If there is a market crash and home prices and home values in your area go down, I used that example in the other video. If the prices go down $50,000, you have $100,000 in equity in your house right now, you're going to only have $50,000 if home prices go down $50,000. So you're going to lose $50,000, which means $50,000. If you could put to work $100,000 today for your next your next season in life, right? If you have to sell the house you've been living in for 10 plus years, it's hurting your soul because you love it, you love the area, your children love it, your wife loves it, whatever the case may be. If y'all have to sell it, at least you get to walk away with $100,000. But the longer we wait and the more and more houses come on the market, guys, that equity is going to run low. That equity is going to run low, and there are going to be people in some parts of the country that they don't even break even. That's what I'm trying to keep y'all from. Okay? This is real talk, straight no chaser. I never said that forbearances was good in my other video. I never told anybody in my other video to be on a forbearance for a year and that was okay. I specifically said don't do that. I said that. I said take a break 3 to 4 months because I watch my videos before I upload them. I don't just film and upload it, okay? I may not edit them, but I do watch them to make sure that I'm not saying anything that goes against the guidelines because, you know, I don't want to be in violation of YouTube or any other platform. So I make sure that I'm using proper language and I'm, you know, staying within the guidelines. So I know the things that I say in my videos, but I appreciate y'all for commenting. And if I said anything in this video that somebody want to say something about, or if you got a question, leave it in the comments. Let's keep this discussion going, guys, because this is real. Everyone in the country is going through this together. So I ain't going to beat this up. But if you got to sell your house, don't wait till the last minute. I said that in the other video. Forbearances are up, foreclosure filings are up, and we are seeing more houses come on the market. All of these are signs that what I'm telling you is fact. All of these are signs that people are struggling and people cannot afford to pay their mortgages. If you can't afford to pay your mortgages, if you let your house go into foreclosure, that is going to stick on your credit. That is going to look far worse on your credit than it will to go and sell your house. And maybe you have to move in with family, or maybe you have to rent an apartment, but that will be much, much better than having the bank come snatch up your house, or having to sell your house in a market where you could have had more money selling it today than you will tomorrow. All right. I don't want it to cost you guys. So take this video, verify everything what I said, make sure you understand the difference between forbearances and deferments, loan modifications, make sure that you ask for penalty-free, no interest added. Okay, if it is going to be a loan deferment and they're putting the payments that you pause onto the end of your loan, make sure that your interest rate isn't changing. Make sure that nobody is going to come and ask you for a lump sum. All right. There are horror stories like that. And I believe that that's why the people in my comments made the comments that they made, because there have been horror stories with mortgage providers that did not fully explain to the homeowner what the forbearance repayment process was going to be like. And at the end of the forbearances, they were wanting these homeowners to pay. I saw one gentleman, his lender wanted him to pay back $26,000 and literally gave him 30 days. If not, they were putting his house on auction. I did tell y'all to stay on top of your forbearance and don't wait until they give you 30 days to get out to contact a realtor, because that's going to make our job so much more difficult, and it'll literally be up to fate if we can keep your house. In that man's situation, he contacted an attorney. He was able to file a bankruptcy, and that stopped the auction proceedings on his home. But you don't even want to get there. In today's market, you don't even have to get there, y'all. So that's why I want you to be informed and always verify everything that I say in my videos. Until we meet again, y'all, I'm so thankful for all of the new subscribers. Continue to subscribe, continue to comment, share this video, because you don't know who you know that will need this information. Until we meet again, bye-bye, later.